My name is Jonathan, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about the current potential turn dates of 2021 that we have been producing for the whole year, 1 year in advance. We published this. Let me go out of this. I'm going to have to blur the screen for a second here. We published this. When did we publish it? We published this 8 months ago, so it's now July, so that means we published it before the new year. I believe it came out in December. But the point of this is that these dates, these turn dates in the market are forecastable. The market rhymes to a very specific pattern, and all I am doing is trying to show you things that no one else is going to be looking at. So we were looking at July. Now in July, we had the 6th, we had the 12th, we had the 19th, 23rd, and 28th. In the last video, the 19th, the 23rd, and the 28th was a period of time that had not occurred. Now that was meaning that we were looking forward and we were looking for a change in direction within 1 to 2 trading days of these dates. Now when you talk about the random walk of the share market and how the markets can move up and they can move down, and they might move up for several days and they might move down for 25 days. When we actually go out and we take a look at these random walks, and then we can actually pretty accurately, if not to the day, sometimes within 1 day or even 2 days if it's around a weekend, we can see in advance when the highest probability of a market change is going to occur. Now you can calculate these. I am in no way able to show you the calculations of these today, but you can calculate into the future days when the market is likely to change direction. So let's go ahead and take a look at the market. And I want to give you an update on the 19th of July and the 23rd of July that we were watching for. And what I did is I actually highlighted these. And if you haven't seen the other video already, you're probably wondering, what does all this mean? Well, pretty much all these little arrows here indicate when we were looking in the market for a specific change of trend. So for example, 16th of June, if I go back to June and we look and we get boom, 16th of June, that was forecasted well in advance. And that means if you were trading this period here and you saw the quite sharp rally higher and you wanted to take some profits, well, you could have done that around the 16th of June. Now let's say the market rolled over into around the 21st, the 22nd of June. What we have here, the 22nd of June was a potential turn date. So the market rolled over, it hit a low on the 21st, and on the 22nd, it rallied higher. You could go through and you could really demystify this whole random walk theory when you actually understand time analysis. Now, nobody actually talks about time analysis, and that's because, well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, it is an esoteric form of research, which means that not a lot of people actually know it exists and know how to use it. And second of all, it's kept hidden from the public eye. I'm not going to say for any particular reason, only because some people, like myself, I'll say this honestly, we try not to show people this because it's our edge in the markets as traders, okay? But I want to give you at least a glimpse of what you may be able to study if you actually want to venture down this path. Because there's a lot of things in life, and I just show you the way that things work in the market, but you can apply everything that is done in the market to your actual life, okay? So the market is a representation of the group as a whole. So when we see masses and masses of people decide to sell, which causes the market to panic, or decide to buy, which causes the market to rally, we can only understand that this here is like a glimpse into the way that the world actually works and the universe actually works, okay? There's a lot of stuff that you don't learn in school, and you know, religions keep it veiled and all that sort of stuff. That's why it's esoteric. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go to the first one. So the first one was the 19th, and then we had the 23rd. Now, I'm not going to come back to this chart, so we just need to remember the 19th and the 23rd. So the 19th, we were looking for a potential change of trend. So the 19th came down, but the bottom actually occurred on the 20th. So remember this whole 1 to 2 days leeway? Well, this is what I was talking about. We give it 1 to 2 trading days. So we either get it on the day or we go 1 day out. Now you can go back to the last video. I didn't change any of these dates here. When I did this calculation in the last video, these are exactly where they were before on these dates here. So I haven't changed it. So I was expecting either on the 19th or the 20th for the market to bottom, and then it did. So let's go ahead and chuck in our arrow for a successful turn date. And we're going to mark the 20th. Now I like to mark the exact dates because that means that when it comes to forecasting next year, I can move forward in time from the exact date and gives me a better opportunity to pinpoint the correct dates. And then we were looking for a turn date on the 23rd. Now the reason why I did the 23rd, and if you look down the bottom, so just keep your eyes on this little meter down here. And the reason why I did the 23rd and also the 26th is because that was a weekend. So generally speaking, when we get a hit on the weekend, we look for one day before or one day after the weekend. So that means the actual turn date may have occurred on the 24th or the 25th. But when I popped it in the Excel sheet to populate the data, I chose the Friday as the highest probability. But as we can see, on the Friday, the market moved up quite strongly. And then today, we've actually got like some sort of doji forming here. Okay, I'm not going to go into the specifics there, but we have the market opening on the left hand side. If I can zoom in a bit, the market rallying higher, stronger, and then pulling back down, and that's a typical top pattern. Okay, so there's a very high chance now that unless the US market opens up strongly tomorrow, that the Aussie market may move down into the 28th to the 29th period before commencing its next rally, if it's going to rally, or before commencing its next bump higher into the next turn date, before moving lower if it's going to decline. Now I won't go into specifics right now, but I just want to show you that this is how it's done. Okay, now I like to just keep you up to date on all this. Let me go ahead and see if I can squeeze this a bit. So I like to keep you up to date just so you know how these are tracking, and you can get actually live updates. So I can't do this all the time, obviously. I don't want to be creating videos non-stop, but you can see that these are not tampered with and these dates come in, and this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so there's a high chance that unless, as I said, unless the US market rallies, that the Aussie market may travel down for a day or two before bouncing between these turn dates. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on until we either get a raging bull market or we get some sort of collapse. Now with the Aussie market and the Aussie economy looking to go back into recession territory, we have to be on the lookout now for a potential pullback in stocks. And our pullback in stocks has definitely been on the radar for a potential pullback into the August-September area. And I'm not going to suggest any form of pullback, but typically speaking, a 10% pullback is what you'd normally look at. I'm not going to suggest that that's what's going to occur, but if that did occur, you'd be looking at back at these lows that occurred back in April, where the market was congested for a while. Anyway, that's all I have. I wanted to give you an update on how these turn dates work and how to spot them real time, and if this turn date proves to be accurate, what I'll do is I'll go and change the color to a green, because we're currently tracking green turn dates as we move into the end of the year. Whilst it's questionable, I'll leave it a different color until we can get next market data. That's all I have. Look forward to talking to you soon.